الله أكبر الله أكبر لا
الحمد لله خالق الوجود من العدم وجعلني نور من الظلم ومخرج صبر من الالم وملك توبه عن ندم فنشكر على المصائب كما نشكر عن النعم ونصلي على رسول الاكرم شرف الاشام والبرتم وكتاب المحكم وكمال النبيين وخاتم سيد ولد ادم الذي بشر به عيسى بن مريم ودعا ببعثته ابراهيم عليه الصلاه والسلام حين كان يرفع قواعد بيت الله المحرم وصلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى أتباعه خير الأمم الذي بارك الله كافة الناس العرب منهم العجم فالحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له ولي من ذنبه كبره تكبيرا والحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبد كتابه ولم يجعل له عوجا والحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله صفيه بخلق وحبيبه بلغ الرساله وعد الامانه ونصح الامه وكشف الله تعالى به الامه وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى اتاه اليقين اما بعد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد فرقان حميد بعد كل أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهم رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما ثم أما بعد قال عليه الصلاة والسلام يسيروا ولا تعسروا أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام إن أصدق الكتاب كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم اللهم ربنا وثقتنا ورجاءنا ومولانا فنعم المولى ونعم النصير. My dear brothers, respected elders, sisters, beloved youth, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for keeping us alive one more day on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, on the path of Islam, and allowing us to come in His house and worship Him in the manner that pleases Him. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from me and accept from you the little bit of His path and me. And I bear witness there is no deity worthy of worship except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His last and final messenger. For sure who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to guide, no one can misguide. And whoever chooses to misguide, no one can guide him back to the path. And we seek refuge in Allah from darkness of ourselves and evil of our deeds, for Allah is all-knowing and all-seeing what His creation does. Alhamdulillah, Allah gave us one more opportunity to be in His house. And we'll continue with the story of the person with the gardens. The conversation these two people are having, and one who is showing off and telling his companion, look at what he has in his life, what achievements he has. So his companion now is having a conversation with him. وقال له صاحبه ويحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا. He says to his friend. Now this one thing is not clear within the Surah Al-Kahf, whether the person is talking to his brother, his friend or companion, whatever it is, but he's talking to a person who is flexing his might. He's showing off his muscle. and his money. That is clear. So the person, the relationship between each other is unknown. But regardless, that is not, in Islam, it does not require a relationship to tell somebody how to abstain for something that's wrong. As far as nahi al-munkar, everybody is responsible to tell the next person to follow the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says to his companion, and he's disputing him in a sense that he's trying to have an argument to help this brother see the world in a better light. Are you really going to go against your Allah, who has created you? He has created you from dust. We're the progeny of Adam, right? And as such, we have in our bodies that initial beginning of Adam, what is dust. The scientist tells you today that we all have cosmic dust present within us. We're made of cosmic dust. And that's the dust that originally started with Adam. So he's asking him, look man, your creation is from nothing. Your creation came from dust, and to dust you shall return. So why are you trying to be so arrogant? And then a small seed. Not even a drop of sperm. Less than a drop. A microscopic sperm which ovulated and you became the man you are today. Why are you trying to be arrogant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And then he tells him, but the Lord is my Lord, and I will not create any partners with him. Let me digress for a moment here. Majority of us today think and believe that kufr is something that a non-believer does. Muslims do kufr all the time. By being arrogant in what Allah has given you, by not being thankful for the fruits and the provision He has provided you, not being thankful for the status that He gave you, not being thankful for the knowledge that He gave you, not being thankful for the house, the children, the luxuries and necessities that He has provided you. That's kufr. That's openly kufr. Because a man thinks, what? I went to school, I worked hard, I got an engineering degree, I work. No. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to make you dumb and dumber, what could you have done? What could you have achieved in your life? For if it was not the plan and the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let you have those things that you have today. Go to the hospitals and visit. People who are dying and have millions of dollars, but they cannot get a new kidney transplant. They cannot get a liver transplant. They cannot get a heart transplant. What good is your money now? What good is your estates, your education, your degrees? What good are they when you cannot use it to make an ounce of difference in your life? And as such, need to be thankful all the time to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what He has blessed with. And even though you are struggling in your life, look inside your body what He has blessed you with, and look outside the body what He has blessed with. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us these beautiful bodies for a reason. Regardless of how much you try, you still cannot replicate a human body to its best completion. So people who are dying and just wanting to live one more day, one more hour, and willing to give all the wealth they have. And as such, we should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we woke up today, we are perfectly fine on our own, and all of our abilities are working fine, alhamdulillah. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you, to say alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. He does not want something lengthy from you. So as such, that's kufr too. Utilizing his ni'mas in the wrong way is kufr as well. Allah gave you a beautiful mind. Use it in a productive way to benefit his creations. A lot of us walk around today and we say we don't have a purpose. You have a purpose, you just don't know it. And the purpose is to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be a servant to Allah by serving his creation in servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sahaba Karam Rizwan Ajma'in, they died for a cause that lived forever and still lives forever. And some people die for a cause that does not live. We see people creating non-profits and charities to do what? So they can have their name. You know, so people say, oh, mashallah, this brother, man, this brother, Allah, he gives so much. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Nobody's stopping you. But make sure your intentions are correct in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the intention lines up with what Allah has given you. Look at Sahaba's mihna. Look at the efforts they put in to spread Islam. I mean, do you think when Rasulullah before Rasulullah passed away, all the Sahabas who became Muslim were in Medina, right? No. They had already left. They had a job, they had a mission. Only a handful of Ashab lived in Medina. Majority of them traveled. I mean, just looking at the crowd, 90% of you probably became Muslims because some companions traveled all over the world, to Southeast Asia, to China, to different parts of the world, to Africa. And that's the true struggle of using what Allah has given you. So while they're arguing, he continues to tell him that maybe Lord will give me something better than your garments. And that's the attitude we should have. Somebody shows you their mansion, somebody shows you the brand new car, you say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. MashaAllah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. May Allah bless you having these things, brother. You should never get an ounce of despondence in your heart, become despondent from Allah. Oh, Allah didn't give me this. Maybe Allah gave you something better than that. Or if not, He has something in store that's much better than that you see around you. And yu'tiyani khayran min jannatika wa yursala alayha. In gardens and sent to me thunderbolts from the heaven. It shall go even ground without plan. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send rains, and overnight the stuff can grow from the dead earth. Alhamdulillah, we live in Tucson, we see all those mountains around us, right? Up to 4 weeks ago, how green was those mountains? It was nothing. It's brown. Go look now. They're covered with green. Where did that stuff come from? Where did it come from? The mountain was dead, there was nothing on it. Who brought it out from the earth? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All it took is a couple of rains. فَتُصْبِحَ سَعِيدًا مُبَارَكًا. Just overnight everything comes out to fruition. So as such, if Allah has given us something, we should not get cocky and arrogant on the gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if He has not given us in the same time, we hope for the better receivement from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on that matter. Because there's something in store that He has for you that you don't see yet. Either way, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. On everything that you go through is Alhamdulillah. As a narration mentioned, قال سعيد رضي الله عنه لابنه يا بني إذا تردت القنا فأتركه بالقنا. Sa'd radiallahu anhu, when he's talking to his son, gives him advice. He says, "Oh my son, if you ask to be prosperous from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask to be in qina', in balance, in barakah, so to speak. It's perfectly balanced. فإنها ما لا ينفد. That money will never end. وإياك وطمع. And be careful of greed. Be careful of greed. فإنها فوق حاضر. Because if you are greedy, the money will never suffice you. The money will bring faqr with it. It will bring poverty with it constantly. You know, we see those people. They have $1 million, they want a second now. They get a second, they want a third now. They have a third, they want a fourth now. Rasulullah mentioned in an authentic narration, the son of Adam, his greed is such a level that if you give him a mountain of gold, he will want another. And his belly will not be filled except with the dirt of the grave. Or how Rasulullah said. وَعَلَيْكَ بِالْيَأْسِ. And do not become despondent. Do not become desperate. Do not become hopelessness. Do not have hopelessness. فَإِنَّكَ لَمْ يَتَأَسْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ قَدْ إِلَّا أَغْنَكَ اللَّهُ. Having despondency does not get you anything, except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to give it to you. In the same token, I would say jealousy. It will not get you anything, except for what Allah has meant for you. So there's no point. What Allah has meant for you will come to you. And what is not meant for you, you will never get. This is a hadith of Rasulullah said. Regardless of how much you try in your life, regardless of how much you try in your life, you will never achieve that point. You will never get that. You know, some people's life goals is just to acquire wealth and status and symbols. And they work all their life to acquire those things, and they don't even succeed at one. If it's not meant for you, it's not going to happen. So trust the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By the way, we're not saying that you should give up and sit home now, expecting a UPS parcel from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every day to bring you stuff. No, you should put in the work, and that's it. Have tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you have worked hard enough, and that Allah will give you the ajr of what you have done. But at the same time, if you are using your talents, you're working in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His people, if you are helping them, if you are working in the society and the community, do not expect an ounce of reward back. Do it for fi sabilillah. Ajr is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Give as much as you can, help as much as you can, and do not boast about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed a lot of us in this community. Alhamdulillah. And as such, we should be thanking Him non-stop, 24/7 for the blessings He has put upon us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make me and make you from the people who say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen constantly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us the progenies from the people of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make me and make you from the people who listens to the words of Quran and start acting upon it in pure sincerity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and give you ajr and benefit and guidance through these ayats in the Quran. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness of all Muslims. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness for yourself and the people around you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all of us. الحمد لله. الحمد لله الواحد الأحد الفرد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. In the tafsir of Surah Al-Yasin, if we come to the ayah number 77, which is the tail end of the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has this conversation. So Aslim Wa'il came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam one day, and he had some bones in his hands that were kind of old and just becoming almost powder and dust. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, do you say that these bones will come alive one day and will answer for their deeds? And Rasulullah said yes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala counters that question in the Quran. In Surah Yasin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Alam yara al-insanu inna khalaqnahu min nutfatin fa'idha huwa khasimun mubin. Does not the man see we have created him from a small seed? And then he becomes an open despondent. We all come from a water, a seed that even if it touched your hand, you will wash your hand 5 times over. I mean, is it something that you keep around? No. It's something dirty. You have to make a ghusl to get clean from it. Your beginning is nothing, and then you become a fully developed man and a human, and then you stand up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you start arguing with Him. Or somebody may ask now, how am I arguing with Allah? You're not following His commandments, so you're arguing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said to do this, we do something else. All the while still expecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to love us and give us all the attention in the world. فَإِذَا هُوَ خَصِيمٌ مُبِينٌ. And he becomes an open despondent. He openly challenges Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَضَرَبْ لَنَا مَثَلًا مَنْ أُمَثِيَ خَلْقَهُ قَالَ مَنْ يُحْيِي الْعِظَامَ وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ. And responding to Aslim Wa'il, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وَضَرَبَ لَنَا مَثَلًا. And we give an example. وَنَسِيَ خَلْقَهُ. And he forgot his own creation. قَالَ مَنْ يُحْيِي الْعِظَامَ وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ. Who's going to make this thing, these bones, these little cracked things alive when they are dust? That's it. قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي أَنْشَأَهَا أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ خَلَقٍ عَلِيمٌ. What says? Well, tell these people that the person, the entity, the creation who created the first time, we'll bring him back. We'll bring him back. وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ خَلْقٍ عَلِيمٌ. And he knows all the creation. He's the most knowledgeable. So as such, if we look at our human beings, we look at ourselves today, what is the best garb a man can don upon his body? Silk. Right? Literally the most expensive thing that you can wear is pure silk. And what is it? A stringy, a gooey substance that comes out the rear end of a little beetle looking thing. Basically his excretions. And what is the best food you can have? Honey. That's also an excretion, that comes out the back end of the honeybee. This is the man's reality in the world. You can't escape those realities. Ali radiallahu anhu used to say, that I'm surprised on a man's condition. He carries his own human waste all day long in his body, and he thinks he's the best thing around. He's the most powerful thing that walks on the earth today. So, inshallah, these things are being told to be a lesson in our lives and follow the examples that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed in the Quran for us to do. Let me finish with the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no person will enter paradise, even in his heart a mustard seed weight of arrogance or pride is present. لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقالة حبة من خردل من كبر. So, inshallah, let's embark on a new chapter of our lives when we walk out of here. Let's put down our pride and arrogance for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything that you give up for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah replaces with something better for you. Let's aim to fix our moral compasses, to be a person of ease, a person who brings ease to people's life instead of making it difficult for them. Let's be the bearers of good news in people's life instead of bearer of bad news. Let's talk to people humbly and respectfully, regardless of who they are. Maybe a 4-year-old child, maybe an 80-year-old man. Have respect and humbleness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always blesses and increases for the people who are humble to His cause. Let's fix our moral compasses to serve the humanity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Allah's servitude. Let's stand behind a cause that can live forever and not die for a cause that will die with us. Allahumma da'im fa'min. Allahumma la tad'a azim illa ghafarta, wa la hammin illa farajta, wa la karman illa nafasta, wa la maytan illa rahimta, wa la maridan illa shafayta, wa la daynan illa qadayta, wa la mujahidan fi sabilika illa nasarta, wa la aduwan illa ahbabta, wa la dhalan illa hadayta, wa la uladan illa aslahta, ولا عيبا إلا سترته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا هي التي رضى لنا يسرت لنا وقضيتها. اللهم استرنا فوق الأرض تحت الأرض يوم إليك. اللهم استرنا فوق الأرض تحت الأرض يوم إليك. اللهم استرنا فوق الأرض تحت الأرض يوم إليك. اللهم إن كان رزقنا في سمائه فأنزله، إن كان رزقه في الأرض فأخرجه، إن كان بعيدا فقريبه، إن كان قريبا فيسيره، إن كان قليلا فكثيرا، إن كان كثيرا فباركنا فيه. واعلموا ان الله قد امر بدا في نفسي سلمنا القدس سلمكم معشر مؤمن جن انس قال عز قائما عليما ان الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا ايها الذين امنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وبارك وعلم على عبدك محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين. عباد الله ان الله يامركم بالعدل والاحسان وايتاء ذي القربى والنهي عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروا لكم وذكر الله اكبر. قوموا نصلي يرحمكم الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.